it's John the Comic Guy. As you just saw in my short, I just picked up a comic book collection, a small one, about 100 books, from Atlantic City. I just saw it advertised. I said 70s and 80s books, and what the heck, I just picked it up. So I'm going to turn the camera around, and I'm going to take you through my flip through. Again, small, and this should be a short video. Thanks. All right, so this is exactly the way I got this package. The guy just walked out of his house, handed them to me, and I handed him the money. So I really haven't had a chance to touch it at all. It's as is, so let's flip it through. Let's flip through it. So, okay, Archies. And by the way, these Archies are what kind of prompted me to pick this up, because Howard Bender's an Archie guy, and I'm going to offer them. So if I ever see Archies out there, I'll typically pick it up. Gold Key, more Archies. And you know, I might, if there's a Betty or Veronica, I might keep them. Things like this. So far, these are pretty low grade. Jungle Adventures featuring Zangar from Skywald. What year is this? 1971. So there's an early Bronze Age. And I don't know if I'm going to keep anything for my own collection at this point. These are, I sort of intended to get these for inventory. So Harvey, Casper, Spidey Super Stories, maybe. Marvel Tales, I'll look at. You know, anything with Spider-Man really does well for me. More Casper. Turok, maybe I'll give that a closer look. More Disney. Yosemite Sam. You know, Bugs Bunny. Who knows, I might keep the Bugs Bunnies. Tweety and Sylvester. More Casper. Devil Kids. Okay. I always pray as I'm going through this, I always pray there's at least one thing that I'm going to keep for my own collection, but I honestly just don't know. Cull, Hanna-Barbera, Dotland, Sabrina, Doctor Strange. It seems like this fellow collected more of the kids type stuff. Polka. Hey, Fat Albert. More Fat Albert. That might do okay. Spooky. Fat Albert. Weird. Weird Wonder Tales might stay. Dracula. Tomb of Dracula. That's good. Okay, now I might keep the Tomb of Dracula so far, and House of Mystery, just because I think you guys know I like skeleton covers, and Gold Key Spotlight. Dennis the Menace. Dennis the Menace and his pal Joey. Dennis the Menace. More Dennis the Menace. Dennis the Menace. Dennis the Menace. All right, I'm going to have to reach out to you, Howard, to see if you like any of these, the Archies at least. Richie Rich. Richie Rich. Richie Rich. Richie Rich. Richie Rich. Richie Rich. And you know, Richie Rich actually does pretty well with me. Richie Rich. Richie Rich. So he's, I think he did his best attempt at keeping some of these books together. So Richie Rich. More Richie Rich. 2 copies of that. Richie Rich. Marvel's 160 Trial. Miss Marvel 8. John Carter 3. Marvel Super Action 2. Logan's Run 7. Lost in Space. I like Lost in Space. That, I think, are going to be keepers for me. Star Trek. Okay, now we're talking. Some things that I may end up keeping. Another Star Trek. Another Star Trek. Nice covers, too, for Gold Key. Logan's Run 6. Tarzan, 100-page spectacular. Another Ms. Marvel number 6. Doctor Strange 10. Western Gunfighters 32. Amazing Adventures 30. Wonder Woman. I think that might end up staying with me. I'll have to check if I have this. 212 of Captain America. Some of these Marvel Triple Actions. ISIS number 5. Do you remember that TV show? I used to watch ISIS. Ghost Rider 25. Howard the Duck 13. Invaders 19. Avengers 161. I'll have to check. And a few more here. Howard the Duck number 14. Doctor Strange 24. Defenders 43. Another Avengers 160. All right, so he had a couple of duplicates. Omega Men, or Omega the Unknown number 8. Gold Key Spotlight, Dagger. And Eternals number 13. Okay, well, I'm going to sort through these again. I think most of the ones, like these Star Treks, are the ones that I'm the most interested in. But I'm going to flip through them a little bit closer, and then I'm going to have a summary video for you guys to see if I'm going to keep any of them. So stay tuned. Okay, everybody. So I had a couple of days to press all the books that I decided I'm going to keep. And I would have to classify this blind buy, which what it was, right? I went to Atlantic City. I handed the guy money. He gave me this small tote full of comics. So it was truly a blind buy. But I would say this was an out-of-the-world collection. And that's a little hint to what you're going to be seeing. So let's get right to it. The first book I decided to keep is Wonder Woman, issue number 231. Despite the fact that I usually don't keep books that are really this modern, I usually like to get and keep books that are 25 cents or older. This particular cover I thought was kind of cute. I decided to hold on to it for now. And you know, as I really reflect, maybe I kept some of these books simply because I wanted to have some books from this blind buy to keep for myself. But I obviously reserve the right to sell that in the future, as like this issue. House of Mystery, number 348. I actually like this cover a lot. It's a low grade, right? That Wonder Woman was probably like a 5.0, 5.5. This House of Mystery is more like a 3.0 or a 3.5. But I like the cover. I think you guys all know by now, if there's a skeleton on the cover, even if I don't keep it, at least I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. So I kind of like it, and for now, I think this is just going to be a good addition for me to keep in my own collection. Now, here's for the theme of Out of This World. I've never actually had, or at least in my current collection, I don't have any gold keys. Pardon me. I might have at one time or another had a couple of these Star Trek issues. I sold them. I, for now, decided I'm going to keep this. And this is Star Trek number 44 from Gold Key. I like it. You know, I am a Star Trek fan. I'm a Next Generation fan. But, you know, I'll keep these comics for the time being. I don't tend to keep any of the newer, more recently published issues. So they just don't appeal to me. I'm not gravitating towards them. But for this, for an old Gold Key, 30 cents. So these are in the 70s. I'm going to keep it. So again, this is issue number 44. I'm also keeping issue number 43. They do have some pretty funky covers, huh? Look at that. That's Kirk. Kirk plunging into the watery world of hostile mutants. I like it. You know, they're giving some new life to those Star Trek characters. So, number 43. Number 39. That cover's pretty good. They're like the painted or, you know, I can't tell if these are like painted or pastel, gray wash, but they look great. Again, these Gold Key covers are pretty cool. I'm kind of shocked that they're really not more valuable than they are, but I like them. And last but not least, out of my out of this world Star Trek issues is number 37. Pretty cool. And there's no doubt about it. If it's not obvious, even though I put them in Mylar, just because I double board and I Mylar up my books. These are pretty low grade. And again, in the future, I may end up selling them, but for now, I'm going to keep them. For the next out of this world comics that I'm keeping, before I do that, let me give a shout out to some of our viewers who have asked me about robots. Again, always like to show a robot, and this is a hint of the comics to come. This is a 1997 New Line 10-inch robot. I'll tell you, when I was a little boy and I saw the TV show with the B9, I got to tell you, I was smitten by this robot. There's no doubt. I love that robot. So when I saw this for sale in the 90s, again, 1997, New Line put this out, I had to buy this. I actually had multiple versions of it. So they had this 10-inch robot, which is, there is no wires to it. There is no remote control. I actually prefer this. But I also had the remote control versions of this and the Robbie the Robot. And I think you probably saw in an earlier episode, my children and I used to have a kind of a round glass table that we used as an arena. And whenever we were in the mood, we made our robots fight, and the loser would get pushed off the table. And that's the robots those are the robots we use. The versions of these that had handheld remote controls and a wire. And boy, that was fun. Contessa now has both of those, but this one still stays with me. 1997, New Line B9. I love it. Okay, so obviously the hint. I didn't even mention the title before I resisted, but of course, we're talking Lost in Space, right? Number 47, issue 47 again, Gold Key. I know they relaunched this title, and it's out there, and I don't even know if it's still being published, but I did not buy the new title. I don't have interest in that. But this old 25-cent Space Family Robinson Lost in Space issue number 47 is going to stay with me for now. An Out of This World issue of Lost in Space. This is issue number 44. Another Gold Key title. Very, very happy to have this. So again, you know, my tastes change, and one day I may end up putting this for sale, but for now, I'm kind of happy and excited to have this in my own collection. So that's sort of it for the Out of This World. The last three issues. First is Tomb of Dracula, number 44. This is where Blade fights Hannibal King. This is a pretty low-grade copy, but I didn't have it. I was debating if I should just sell it, put it in like a $5 bin or something, but for now, I'm going to keep it just in case, just to start completing my run on this title. I don't actively collect this title, but since I got this passively in the blind buy, why not? Again, issue number 45, Blade and Hannibal King battle and have an appearance. The next title is issue 212 of Captain America. I like this. I think the cover's cool. I kind of dig the purple in there. But really, for me, I am a big Jack Kirby fan. And, you know, I got to tell you, let me know what you think of Kirby. In my youth, to be perfectly honest, I did not really have a full appreciation of Jack Kirby and his skills. Now I do. So, again, when I was a punk kid, what the heck did I know, right? I'm buying comics, I'm reading them, and I'm shoving them in my pockets, but I just didn't really see the allure of Jack. I love Jack now. So, boy, maybe he's a more mature, acquired taste for me. And now I realize as a youth, boy, what a dope I was because Jack truly is the king. So I'm a big Jack Kirby fan. And because of that, I didn't have this issue, and I'm going to keep this number 212. Now, last but not least, everybody, the story that you all heard me say a couple of times is in 1978, I quit collecting comics for the very first time. Why did I quit collecting comics? Music. Which band was the album that I heard that just made me crazy that I had to quit comics and start spending all my money on music? Kiss. So, Howard the Duck issue number 13, which is the first full story featuring Kiss in a comic book. This is a lower grade, right? It's a medium, a mid to low grade. So I would say a 4.5 to a 5. And again, that's breast. But, you know, Howard the Duck is one of the titles that I hold on to. I have a graded copy of Howard the Duck 1. It's not a 9.8, but that's okay for me. But knowing that I also have the first full appearance of Kiss in a comic book with this issue, for sure, for me, this is the keeper of this blind buy collection. So, everybody, Howard the Duck number 13. This is the comic of this collection for me. I hope you enjoy this content. Everybody, if you like this content, I would ask you to please hit the subscribe button to see more of this kind of information and content from me. And I will continue to show you any of my buys. I want to thank you so much for joining me, and I will talk to you soon.